I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Bismillah, wa salatu wa salam, Rasulullah, wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love and no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. And family, just yesterday we talked about how AIPAC, the Israel lobby, is spending $100 million, proudly so, to unseat certain black Congress members. Okay. And we talked about this. And we also mentioned in the live before that in many ways that the black community is light years ahead of the immigrant community because we know what's going on here. We understand what's going on. The immigrants, they don't ask any questions. They just do stuff. They do stuff and they start looking crazy. Okay. And this is one of those things where they just doing stuff and they looking crazy. I don't understand who thought that this was a good idea. But before we get into this, it's like, how do I say this, man? It's like when people are just slow. I don't know how to explain it, man. You know what I mean? When you're just acting slow. You know what I mean? How are you playing politics in 2023 like it's 1983? You still haven't caught up yet? Even black folk ain't doing what you're doing. You know, black folk in general, they are, hipping up. We talked about many times about the global black awakening, and we understand the system very, very, very well. Right? We're very savvy when it comes to this left-right paradigm. The black grassroots, anyways, very savvy. We understand exactly what it is. Okay. So now, what is going on because of the Palestinian issue is because a lot of these very public emotional outbursts, which are going viral, particularly in the wider Muslim social media spaces, and they think that what they're doing is winning when what they're doing is actually shooting themselves in the foot. I've taken the position that, we particularly as black Muslims, we need to stop seeing ourselves as a minority group. To be quite honest, when it comes to the wider Western Muslim side, we're not a minority at all, to be honest. And one of the brothers had pointed this out actually in one of the groups I'm in. And the reason why we act like we're a minority is because we're conditioned to act like that. And in 2023, it's no longer appropriate particularly as black Muslims, to be acting like this, like we're a minority. Okay. So what the immigrant Muslim now is doing, they are playing political patty cake with the left-right paradigm. You might as well just call it Zaddy cake. Don't call it patty cake. They're playing political Zaddy cake. You know, which Zaddy can we chase after next? That's what they're doing. Okay. So before we get into this, I want to show y'all something that my wife sent me a week or two ago. Right. And when I saw this, I was like, what in the world is going on here? This happened in Canada. All right, let me cue this up here. Right. And then we're going to get into the meat of the topic tonight. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. Let's get into it. Okay. 1 second, y'all. So before we get into this, let me just show y'all this. Okay. So this happened in Toronto. This is Bonnie Crombie. Let me just cue it up. 1 second, y'all. All right. So let's cue this up. This is Bonnie Crombie. Right. For those of y'all in Toronto or in Ontario and Ottawa, whatever, in Canada, you know who Bonnie Crombie is already. Right. She is seeking political office for Ontario. And she's visiting a mosque. Okay. A masjid somewhere, I think it's somewhere in Toronto somewhere. Right. And this happened. Let's watch it, y'all.
And this is being negotiated now.
You don't have to care about us. When you make one tweet, it takes 10 seconds to make a tweet to condemn Israel killing innocent.
So if y'all can't hear, the person in the background is demanding that Bonnie Crombie make a tweet. Make a tweet to condemn Israel. She wants Bonnie Crombie to make a tweet to condemn Israel. And he's serious. He's not joking. He's dead serious. This is political Zaddy cake. Anyway, let's keep watching, y'all.
Babies, what's wrong with you? Are you okay in the head? Are you seriously okay in the head?
She's not gonna do it now.
She's never gonna do it.
No, we don't wanna listen this long.
Yo, let's leave. Everybody, let's leave. Have a nice life. Let's walk out. Have a nice life. Nobody cares about you.
About these issues.
Okay. That's the first one, y'all. 1 second. Let me see how do I do this? I'm not a Twitter person.
When you condemn Israel, when you tweet, no, this is.
You went on social media and condemned Palestine. Will you at least go on social media and condemn Israel?
Yes. Will you?
Yes.
I'm not trying to yell. I'm sorry for yelling at you.
The statement.
So Bonnie Crombie, she's in the mosque, okay? And the Muslims in the mosque, right? And it's not necessarily to we're not bashing Muslims here, right? That's not the idea. The idea is to show how politically inept the immigrant Muslims are and the things that they are seeking because of the demographic bones and biscuits that they've been given in order to live in the West. These are the types of things that they demand. Okay? The Black Roots would never, ever, ever demand any politician ever to send a tweet. Never. That's just funny. It's ridiculous. Okay? But anyways, Bonnie Crombie, let's keep watching. This is in the mosque, y'all. This is in the mosque. Let's keep watching.
I want to apologize for the way I've been behaving. I just have one question. Will you at least go on social media and condemn what Israel is doing?
Exactly. That's all we want.
Yes or no? Yes or no? And I'm sorry for the way I behaved. I'm sorry. I'm very glad.
Now, this is what they're saying. That's all that we want. Who is this we? Who is this we that wants Bonnie Crombie to send a tweet condemning Israel?
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
Like, who is this we? Can you imagine you looking for political positioning, and your political positioning is asking Bonnie Crombie to send a tweet condemning Israel? That this is beyond shameful. In my opinion, it's beyond shameful. It's beyond shameful. Because these same Muslims, remember, Bonnie Crombie, for those of y'all who don't know, Bonnie Crombie has done a hell of a lot for the immigrant Muslim community. I mean, a hell of a lot. More than most politicians. But as we said many, many times, the issue of Israel is a bipartisan issue. You are not going to get any politician ever to condemn Israel. And these guys out here saying that's all we want. And this is why we are saying here on the Black Grassroots that you got to understand the immigrant community, they never really included black folk to begin with, okay? They're doing their own thing. It is very obvious they're doing it because this is embarrassing. We definitely sympathize and empathize, of course, with our brothers, especially with those who had lost families, and we can understand how Muslims would be, emotional and riled up, and emotions are high. We get it. We understand this. But this is so wrong on so many levels. We've been saying for so long that the way that these Muslim organizations have been twitching and twirling and twerking for the liberal party for 3 solid decades, it is going to backfire. And that day has come. The day has come. The backfire, we're witnessing the backfiring right before our very eyes all over social media. Let's keep watching, y'all.
Passion. I understand your passion. I know you feel deeply. I feel deeply too. I'm just trying to be respectful. I hear you. I see your passion. You're hurting. I can see that. You have family.
We're not children. We're grown-ups. Our families are dying. We're not children.
We're not kindergarten, bro.
Yes or no?
You can't talk down to us anymore. We will not get the Muslim vote. I guarantee you, we will not get the Muslim vote.
So the sister in the background, what is she saying? You will not get the Muslim vote. You will not get the Muslim vote. That's what she's saying, y'all. I mean, man. See, when you are... Anyways, let's just keep watching, y'all. Let's keep watching because, man, this is just like so embarrassing. 1 second, y'all. Let's keep watching.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Will you condemn what Israel is doing to the actual site when the UN has already told them these are UN sites and they're bombing it? Will you at least condemn that part?
I will be putting a statement up. As you asked, you've heard it. We were asking for permanent peace and for the killing to stop.
We're in kindergarten again.
Okay, that's the second part. Let's keep going, y'all. All right, don't believe me. We just warming up. This is gonna get a lot worse. Okay, Bonnie Crombie. Okay.
That's right. And she will say. That is.
Oh, 1 second.
That's right. And she will.
I'm not a Twitter dude. Just give me 1 moment.
That's right. And she will say. That is the comment. Please leave them off. No, I don't need to listen because your statement is bullshit too.
in the masjid. Look how he's talking, y'all. Right? We get it. We get it. We get it. Muslims are emotional. A lot of brothers had their family members slaughtered for no reason, brothers and sisters, and we absolutely sympathize and empathize with our brothers and sisters. But this ain't it. This right here, it ain't it. This is not it. Let's keep watching.
When you said something about civilians, you guys just
I told you
you
to
guys
have
going
your
for Israeli civilians.
Why do you bring them here?
Are you guys hate for them?
I begged him to cancel. I begged him to cancel his stay.
Stop the political fucking correctness.
Don't touch me. Nobody fucking.
Do y'all hear that in the masjid? In the masjid. Look how they talk.
Don't touch me. Nobody fucking touch me. Let me talk. You don't touch me.
So what you're witnessing right now is, we said it many, many, many times, that this is going to backfire. This is the backfiring. Remember, we told y'all that these Muslim organizations, the reason why they're in cahoots with particularly with the political left, is because the political left is willing to give them a heck of a lot of stipends. In return for these stipends, these organizations, these Muslim organizations, order the wider Muslim community to vote what? Somebody put it in the chat, please. Somebody put it in the chat. We've seen this for 30 solid years. We've seen this. And now finally, it is backfiring. Who said it was a good idea to begin with to invite politicians to the masjid in order to get the Muslim vote? Who said it's a good idea? The wider immigrant Muslim community is about 30 years behind the black community when it comes to politics, approximately, because they were doing what we were doing 30 years ago. Isn't this what the black community did for so long? And now we're looking at our civil rights leaders, our old, tired, crooked civil rights leaders. We're looking at them funny, right? We're looking at our civil rights leaders funny. We're looking at our church leaders funny because they did this so many years ago. And now if you look at the black church, it's empty. At least it's not filled with men anyway. It's all filled with old black women and single mothers and stuff. When you look at these old, tired civil rights leaders like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and whatnot, nobody from the black grassroots followed them. It's just some old Negroes. Old Negroes. Nobody paying attention to them. Ain't nobody paying attention to them. This is what your Muslim groups are doing today. Things that we were doing 30 years ago. Who said it was a good idea to invite Bonnie Crombie to speak at this is Hamilton Mosque. This is Hamilton Mosque. To invite Bonnie Crombie to speak at Hamilton Mosque to begin with. Just like when they invited Justin Trudeau to speak at the mosque. Who said this is a good idea? You know who said it was a good idea? The people who are licking the crumbs off the floor off of that Zaddy's table. That's who. Damn! That's who said it's a good idea. Playing Zaddy cake in the masjid. Not patty cake, political Zaddy cake. Yes, exactly. It's the liberals. They want you to vote liberal. That's why they invite them. Did anybody in Canada see Pierre Polivier ever go to a masjid anywhere? Pierre Polivier? Any of y'all see that? He don't be doing that nonsense. It's just silly. It's just very, very, very silly. This could have been avoided if they never played that game to begin with. I mean, you started playing the game, but you didn't have to invite liberal politicians in the mosque during the height of a widely monitored genocide of Muslim folk in 2023. You didn't have to do it then. But because election time is coming up, and guess what? Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, Bonnie Crombie, she won the Liberal seat for the Ontario government. She won. And guess who she not going to be going to going to help if she beats Doug Ford, who was another political creep.
We're interrupted. You can't feed us long-lasting peace. We're interrupted. You can't feed us long-lasting peace. What does that even mean? What does long-lasting peace mean? Explain that to me.
What about this picture with the Israeli lobby? Are you with the Muslims or the Israelis? This is a picture of you at the Israeli lobby conference. Are you
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
If you have to ask that question, then really you shouldn't be involved in politics at all. Period. If you have to ask this question to any mainstream politician, you shouldn't even be at that meeting. Who are you with, the Israelis or the Muslims? Are you giving these politicians Israeli money? Is that what you're doing? Are you see what you are playing and you are playing political checkers while the Zionist lobbies are playing political three-dimensional chess. Okay? This is what you're doing. You are asking for a tweet. Okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. I get it. I get it. You're emotional. But you are making all Muslims look incredibly bad. Incredibly bad. And to be quite honest, it's not funny anymore. It's getting to the point. Not even has far surpassed the point of being comical. The political ineptness of immigrant Muslims, because they don't want anything to do with black folk. They want to have the white picket fences beside the white picket fences of their white neighbors. That's what they want. And so that's why they ask for a tweet. Let me show y'all something. We put this out yesterday, y'all. This is what the Zionists are doing. While you were asking for a tweet, AIPAC are set to spend $100 million to unseat lawmakers critical of Israeli crimes. You see the difference? You asking for a tweet. Why don't you spend $100 million for that tweet? Are you kidding me?
Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
Are you kidding me right now? Spend $100 million for that tweet. You might just get it. What they are doing, what you are doing, is like apples and $100 million worth of oranges. Okay? It ain't the same. You're not playing the same game at all. At all. Let's go back.
Are you with the Israelis? Have you been to Israel? Have you personally been to Israel? Huh? You defended Palestine at the Israeli party? Where they pay for you guys to go dance around in Israel? You puppet!
She's a politician. Yeah, she's a puppet. What did you think she was? Man.
Emotional damage.
Come on, man. This is beyond, like... And all of this embarrassment could have been avoided if these masajid wouldn't invite these politicians to their mosque. They did it to Justin Trudeau, and now they do it to Bonnie Crombie. And the reason why we showed this is to get to the meat of what we want to show y'all today, because this is just insane. It is just insane. Right? Let me show y'all. One second, y'all. Did I lose it? Oh my gosh. One second. I got to pull it up. Okay. I don't know what I just did. But just give me a minute. One second, y'all. There we go. I just had it up. All right. This is what we want to show y'all today. This is so silly. Look how these folks acting, man. And black folks, y'all, you are the ones really. You are the ones who are running out of excuses the quickest, because you already know what time it is already, and you're still out here begging people for brotherhood who ain't gonna give you brotherhood. And these guys are shooting themselves in the left foot, and the right foot, and all the toes, everywhere. Because they were chasing bones and biscuits from Zaddy and them. One second, y'all. Now look at this. Group of swing state Muslims vows to ditch Biden in 2024 over his war stance. I'm going to repeat that one more again. Group of swing state Muslims vows to ditch Biden in 2024 over his war stance. You can't make this crap up. In case you missed it, I'm going to show you one more again what AIPAC is doing. Let me show you one more again what AIPAC is doing. AIPAC is doing what? Set to spend $100 million to unseat lawmakers critical of Israeli crimes. And all these Muslims, immigrants, mind you, okay? What are they fitting to do? What are they fitting to do? They are doing this. Vowing to ditch Biden in 2024 over his war stance. Because, the Republicans are going to be, pro-Palestine, right?
Emotional damage.
Republicans are going to be pro-Palestine real quick.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
You can't make this stuff up, man. Who said this is a good idea? Chicago. Muslim community leaders from several swing states pledged to withdraw support for U.S. President Joe Biden on Saturday at a conference in suburban Detroit, citing his refusal to call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
Democrats in Michigan have warned the White House that Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war could cost him enough support within the Arab American community to sway the outcome of the 2024 presidential election.
Oh my God!
Leaders from Michigan, Minnesota, Arizona, Wisconsin, Florida, Georgia, Nevada, and Pennsylvania gathered behind the lectern that read, "Abandon Biden ceasefire now" in Dearborn, Michigan, the city with the largest concentration of Arab Americans in the United States.
Run.
Are y'all hearing this? AIPAC is spending $100 million to buy politicians. And these Muslims are fitting to withdraw their votes from Joe Biden to do what? Support a politician that AIPAC has bought.
Bruh.
You can't make this stuff up, man. You cannot make this stuff up. And didn't we say from I think almost a year and a half or 2 years ago, we said during the Trump administration anyways, that no, did we say no? We didn't say it. We said after in the Biden administration, right? We said not in Trump. Right? I'm going to take it back. I'll take that back. We said at least a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? That the powers that shouldn't be are looking for far right governments. I want y'all, if you get a chance, go look up what Richard Nixon said about the Chinese. What he said about them at that, in I think his 70s, right? Go look up what he said about the Chinese, right? And just to paraphrase what he said, Chinese communist country, he said that the Chinese, they prefer right-leaning governments, even though they're Chinese, okay? Even though they're communists. They prefer that. And go see why he said that. If you read between the lines, and that was way back in the 70s, you can imagine what it is now. You have right now Saudi Arabia preferring right-leaning politicians. You have, of course, the Chinese preferring right-leaning politicians. You have Russia, who essentially aided and embedded the most far-right president in U.S. history, Donald Trump. Helped him win the election. Okay? And now you have what's going on in Venezuela. You have what's going on in Argentina. You have what's going on in the Netherlands. You have what's going on in Italy. All of these countries are becoming far right all at the same time. All at the same time. And guess who is going to help Canada and America have a far right government in 2024 or 2025? Guess who's going to help them? Your immigrant Muslim community. Your immigrant Muslim community. It's ridiculous. Let's look what they said. The health ministry in Hamas-ruled Gaza on Saturday updated the death toll in Israel-Hamas war is 15,200 Palestinians, roughly two-thirds of them women and minors. Some 1,200 Israelis have been killed, most during the October 7th attack on Israel by Hamas that triggered the war. And it's not a war. Let's call it what it is. It's a massacre. It's not a war. Okay? The nuclear power is fighting people and bombed out depleted houses, not non-combatants. That's a war? What kind of war is that? Call it what it is. It's a genocide. It's not a war. Biden's unwillingness to call for a ceasefire damages relations with the American Muslim community beyond repair, according to Minneapolis-based Jaylani Hussein, who helped organize the conference. Well, there's a young man in the early 2000s, and his name was George W. Bush Jr. Okay, who was running the very same country that you're complaining to Joe Biden about. And you know what he did? He's the one who spearheaded not one, but two seemingly never-ending wars. One in Iraq and one in Afghanistan, both of which have killed millions of Muslims, including, what's that devil woman's name? What's her name again? Someone of y'all remind me. Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. When this devil woman, she died last year. May she rot in hell, I mean. Okay. Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, what's her name? One of y'all remind me anyways. When this devil woman, when she was asked if these sanctions against Iraq were justified, because they had already, the sanctions themselves. Imagine starving 1 million children to death. 1 million. And because of these sanctions, 1 million Iraqi children died. You see what they're doing right now in Palestine? This is nothing new. This is their MO. This is their modus operandi. This is normal for them. Normal. Charles Roby just mentioned 1 million children dead in Yemen as well. Just because you see it on social media doesn't mean it's anything new. So you fitting to punish the liberal to reward the conservative? That's what you finna do? With your votes? Just give away your votes all willy-nilly? Didn't we say over here on this channel, democracy is many times, it's about quid pro quo? So you need to play the numbers game like a group. This is why we're telling y'all black Muslims. Those folks, those immigrants, they're not worried about you. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. Okay? The reason why they're here is because they're thinking about themselves. They're here escaping the danger from their own countries to be in the safety of Zaddy's country. Y'all get me? And so that's why they have no problems doing these ridiculous things that actually harm them. It makes it even worse for them. Thinking that they're standing up for people's rights and stuff. What's that lady's name, man? The one who said, is it Madeline Albright? Is that her name? Madeline Albright. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Madeline Albright. Yes. Yes. That devil. That devil. Okay. When she said, when she did this interview and she was asked, do you believe that it's justified? Do you believe that is justified? Because 1 million Iraqi children have died from your sanctions. And what did she say? Yes, she was justified, and she was rewarded with a Secretary of State position, I believe it was, after that. These are the devils you're talking about. These are the devils you were talking about. And now you coming out here saying, you know what, devil? We're not voting for you no more, devil. We're gonna vote for Satan. We're not voting for you devils no more. We gonna vote for Satan. That's what they saying, man. Can you believe that? Let's vote for Satan. That's what they doing out here, man. Yep, that's what she said. She said, "I think it was worth it." So now here come these immigrant Muslims. They doing all kind of backward stuff. You notice how these politicians they don't go to no churches. When's the last time you see one of these politicians in the church? When's the last time you see one of these politicians in a Hindu temple, in a Sikh temple? Maybe Sikh temple, maybe. I don't know. Because Sikhs are very politically involved. Very politically involved. Right? So I don't know. It's possible. Right? Do politicians go to synagogue and stuff? Jews ain't finna do that nonsense. They don't care who gets the vote because they are buying the politicians, i.e., $100 million worth. You get it? So black folk, particularly black Muslims, right now in the West, we make up approximately 20% of the entire Muslim population. If you consider us as a group, we are actually the largest group out of all Muslim populations. And if you consider the Caribbeans and converts in South America, stuff, we are the largest by not even close. The black converts. Okay. Our issue is that we running behind every single other people group to lead us. That's our problem. We're running behind these other folks, and they making these huge blunders, like these massive blunders. And when you tell them they can't be told anything, they cannot be told anything, and they don't respect you because you have nothing to leverage except for a whole bunch of talk. That's black folk. You may have experience, but you have nothing to leverage. And a big part of the reason why you have nothing to leverage is because every single asset that you have to give, you give it to other folks. You're very busy and eager to argue and fight and hate on one another while protecting those people who hate you. And instead of working smart and methodical and thinking about your moves and planning your moves in a structured manner, we talked about the emotional intelligence the other day. They weaponized the NOI against us, also the marginalized. Exactly. And I'll do one even better. Now these very same immigrants are openly anti-black. They're openly anti-black, and they have no problems letting the world know how anti-black that they are. Shout out to Daniel Hikikachu and everybody who follow him and everybody who promotes him, like Muhammad Hijab, like SP Files, like who else promoting him now? You see, you may have had an excuse. I want y'all to think about all the different groups that Daniel Hikikachu was in. He started with Yakin, correct? That's where he started. Okay? And then Sajid put him on. And then Wajdi gave him a shout out. And then the biggest one was AIM conference with that weirdo Sheikh Abu Zaid, Kareem Abu Zaid. That weirdo. Talking about, you know, I bear witness that you're not supposed to make takfir on the leaders and blah, 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 blah. Some embarrassing crap. How did all that turn out? These folks were warned. They were warned about Daniel Hikikachu in a very clear manner. You find them talking about Daniel Hikikachu now? No. Who is pushing him now? Muhammad Hijab pushing him. Okay. You got whatchamacallit? What's his face, man? Them folks. Okay, I can't remember. But after seeing all that and all the stuff that he's done, and you have the audacity to push him at that point, you're beyond suspect at that point. You know, me and you, we can't do nothing together no more. No, because you took a side. You took a side. And this in fact is a blessing for black folk. Because it's very, very clear. It's not ambiguous anymore. Look how he talked to Napoleon. Look how Daniel Hikikachu talked to Napoleon. And you tell me that man is not a racist. Oh, the Mekkalis, all they do is attract crackheads and drug dealers and failed rappers like Napoleon. Who are you talking about? Y'all know who he's talking about? Why don't you just come out and say niggas? Just come out and say niggas. He's talking all reckless and wild about Napoleon while saying that we need to make excuses for David Wood. That Daniel Hikikachu. We need to make excuses for David Wood. If you were a crackhead and you became Muslim, may Allah reward you and multiply it for you a billionfold. A billionfold. And may Allah enter you into Jannah, pure and clean. Ameen. If you were a drug dealer and you became a Muslim, may Allah reward you and multiply it for you a billionfold. If you were a rapper or a gangster and you became Muslim, may Allah give you Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen. Y'all think I agree with Napoleon and his positions? But Napoleon, he's just like a regular dude, really. He has a lot of pull because of his notoriety, but he's not in the Dawah game like Shamsi, that buffoon. He's not in the Dawah game like that. He ain't in it like that. He's just a nice, all-around nice guy. You get me? How can you feel comfortable enough when Allah guides somebody who was addicted to drugs or perhaps in the streets or perhaps rapping, and Allah guides that person, and you vilify those very same people for the sins that they did before Islam? This is a Muslim? This is a Muslim. I'm asking y'all. When the Prophet of Allah said, the one who enters Islam, all their previous sins that they did, they don't just go away, they don't just disappear, but rather the old sins that they did now turn into good deeds. So every puff of that crack pipe and every drug and every penny that you made off of drugs and every drag off that blunt, all of it becomes good deeds because you became Muslim. Here come Daniel Hikikuchu vilifying and trying to put down and embarrass and shame the people who left sin in order to enter Islam, calling them Mekhalis. This is your Muslim brother, this guy? This guy, your Muslim brother? In my humble opinion, Napoleon shouldn't have come to the defense of Shamsi to begin with, because Shamsi's a turd. And Shamsi deserves to be punched in his face. But not like that. The way that he was punching his face was a total bitch move. It was a total bitch move. Make no mistake about it. That wasn't done in an honorable way. And for what? For Starbucks coffee? That's the thing that puts you over the edge? All these kafirs all over Britain drinking Starbucks, you ain't got no work for them. But the Muslim who don't want to boycott Starbucks, because he is a turd, he's a turd, but he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim turd. Not only do you ambush him 4-on-1, you record it, you put it on social media, and you're proud of what you did. Should Napoleon defend him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the response from Daniel Hikikuchu was so despicable and shameful. And the fact that not a single one of your YouTubian elites checked him should tell you, black people, everything you need to know about your Muslim brothers, your alleged Muslim brothers. Alleged. And I say they are not your Muslim brothers at all. They're not your brothers in Islam. These folks that are running around, they can't check Daniel, but they can go on their social media platforms telling the white supremacists, dear sincere white nationalists, we the Muslims do not hate you. They can do that. But they can't check Daniel about converts, the crackheads, the ex-drug dealers, the ex-gangsters. And the funny thing is, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, maybe one of y'all can share it with me. Maybe when somebody can come on the live with me right now so I can put it on this live. Right? If y'all don't know, because, man, this deserves to be talked about. But that's why I keep saying, these folks ain't about no brotherhood. They're not about no brotherhood at all. Don't get it twisted. If they were about brotherhood, you would know. What kind of brotherhood is that? The failed rappers. That's what he called Napoleon, the failed rappers who become Muslim. Like he's trying to shame him for leaving kufr to come into Islam, and because he came into an aspect of Islam that he don't agree with, because that aspect is critical of his positions, he has to come with these type of epithets. failed rappers. Daniel Kijo, he's a failed Shia. He's a failed Shia. He's practically a Shia. Oh, I left Shia to become Sunni. Sunni where? You haven't met a single Sunni scholar that you love. You haven't taken a single Sunni position except that you disparage it. What kind of Sunni? What you talking about? These folks. I never heard Daniel quote a single ayah of Quran ever. I never heard him quote an ayah. I never heard him quote a hadith. Never. But he ready to talk about converts like that. Converts to Islam. While he is claiming to be a convert. And then you have folks recklessly defending his position because they hate spubs more than they love the truth. I wish a biscuit would. I wish a biscuit would. Can you imagine? We've been giving Daniel that work for how many years? He can't say squat against us because he knows what's coming if he tries. He knows what's coming if he tries. But he's ready to go after Napoleon. Napoleon who doesn't debate, doesn't get into arguments, doesn't get into beefs. When last time you seen Napoleon in an online beef with anybody? His only crime is what? Being with spubs in them. That's his crime. So because he's with spubs in them, we have to go not just attack him, but attack every single black convert with underhanded comments and digs on black folk. That's what we're doing now. Despicable. Very, very despicable. Let me try to find this thing, man. Unless one of y'all can find it for you, man, so y'all can know what I'm talking about. These dudes, they I don't understand how they're even a thing. Wallahi, 20 years ago, nobody would even think about doing half the thing, not even a quarter of the things that these dudes do, because they would get ripped, absolutely destroyed if they tried it. But you could do it now because of the intellectual laziness of Muslims in 2023, following social media moguls and stuff like that. Let me show y'all. 1 second. Let me show y'all. 1 second, y'all. I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's off topic, but it's on topic at the same time. 1 second, y'all. Watch this. That's Shamsi. Okay, he's getting jumped. Those guys are recording it. They did a follow-up video, the same guys that jumped him. And then they said it was for Starbucks and stuff. That's what they said it was for. They said it was for. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Right? Hanif says Napoleon was the most successful outlaw member. That's a fact. We all know that. We all know that. But anyways, let's keep watching, y'all. 1 second. Let me try to find Napoleon thing. One second, y'all. Let me see if I can try to find it. Man, one of y'all's gonna have to send it to me, man. So I can find this stuff. Can y'all see me? 1 second. Even the lights on. My wife came down here and turned off all the lights and stuff. And just like she running stuff. Like she running the show up in here. Go to bed, woman. Don't forget to make me breakfast in the morning, okay? 1 second, y'all. Man, if one of y'all can, man, let me just put the link in here. Somebody's gonna have to join me for this topic here, man, because I can't find it. I cannot find it. I wasn't even planning on talking about that, but because we're talking about these folks with their open racism, right? They're not even savvy about it anymore. And now they're out here talking about, oh, guess what, Joe Biden? We ain't gonna vote for you. Well, guess what got you now? We got your corner now. Guess what? Next year, you're not gonna get the Muslim vote. Like what? Give me a break, man. Man, let me see. Let me see if I can find this thing, man. Is someone gonna join me or what, man? See, now y'all got me slowing down trying to find this thing, man. I was not planning on talking about this. But since I mentioned it, no, I can't find it, man. Let me try. So y'all be sending me stuff all the time. One second, y'all. Man, I can't find it, man. Sorry, y'all. Maybe it's better I can't find it anyway, man. These guys are turds. I'm tired of talking about both of them. Shemsy's a big turd. Daniel's a colossal turd. Both of them actually deserve to get punched in the face anyways. They both of them might learn some manners. But they should be punched in the face in an honorable manner. Right? Not like that. Not like some some bitch made sneak attack behind buck of us over some coffee and stuff. Like, y'all kidding me? Man. Anyways, family, we got sidetracked. Napoleon is a legitimate business owner. Daniel Hikichi is a 45-year-old full-time YouTube influencer. He's 45 years old? Daniel Hikichi is 45 years old? Get out of town, bro. No way. Why does he act like a teenager, man? I know why I act. I know that. Okay, I know I could be immature sometimes, but dude is a Harvard graduate, man. He's a Harvard graduate. And he loved himself some Zaddy. That is insane, bro. I did not know that. Napoleon said that the outlaws became Muslim. I guess he was giving them dawah. Yeah, this is what I mean. These guys are actually making dawah. Name one person in the entire dunya that converted because of Daniel Kikuchi's dawah. You know? Well, like, what does he have to offer? I'm Muslim. Don't be liberal. In Islam, we reject the liberal left. Like, what are you talking about, man? What is he talking about? All he does is take alt-right talking points and say, and the Muslims second that. That's it. That's all he does, man. You know, at this stage of the game, if you're pushing him with all the stuff that came out against him, you know, let alone all the stuff we put out a ton of stuff, right? If you're still pushing him, there's nothing wrong with us. Something wrong with you, man. But that's besides the point. The point is that the wider Muslim community has largely, the wider Muslim community has largely accepted racism wholesale, and they're not afraid to say it, including some of your biggest da'is, not excluding folks like Hamza Yusuf, not excluding folks like Abdullah Andalusi, a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of them have accepted racism wholesale. Y'all hearing me?
Salaam Alaikum.
Brother CL, what is going on, bro?
Nothing much. We're in the show.
All right, alhamdulillah. What you got for us, bro?
Yeah, you know. First of all, just the point I made about they weaponize the Nation of Islam against Black Muslims. I wanted to touch on that real quickly. I've noticed this because a lot of South Asians and Arabs have this really stereotype that all of us either were or currently are members of the Nation of Islam, or we're secretly members of the Nation of Islam, or we don't understand Aqidah and we still have the Aqidah of the Nation of Islam. And it comes across I've come across this numerous times in comment sections and conversations where this is their expectation, this is what they believe.
Well, the Nation of Islam, out of all the groups, the Black groups in the West, they are the most politically advanced by far. Like, nobody can touch them when it comes to politics, right? And The reason why a lot of these Muslims, because it's not something that's organic, mind you, right? It is something that, my opinion, it is something that has been instilled within the Muslim community on a nefarious level, right? In order to handcuff Black Muslims from actual progress in the Black community, right? Because if you look at how Islam came into other countries, other regions, it's no different really from how the Nation of Islam started. It's really no different, you know. If you look at even up until this day, South Asia, you know, they have a lot of Hindu practices mixed in with Islam, right? So at that point, what is important is that the Muslims have to make dawah to their own people, right? We weren't allowed to have that opportunity. We weren't allowed to progress organically in our growth in the West, and we would never be allowed anyways, because that's the nature of white supremacy, right? So we were forced into pigeonholing the Black experience into non-existence while trying to make Black folks into Arabs and South Asians and whatnot, and totally ignoring what's going on in the Black community, right? And how do you do that? The easiest way to do that is to divorce Black folks from the Nation of Islam, right? That's the easiest and quickest way. You get me? The Nation of Islam is Black nationalist. Nationalism is kufr, right? That's what we've been told. We've been told nationalism is kufr, right? And at the same time, not a single one of these ethnic groups that coming here from overseas is not practicing nationalism. All of them are practicing nationalism wholesale, while telling us Black nationalism is kufr.
Well, it's only nationalism. It's only tribalism when a Black person does it.
Yeah, of course.
See, that's what I said by weaponizing.
Yeah.
So it's not a legitimate criticism. It's not they come across, they appear to be concerned, like, oh, brother, don't you know? Don't you know? It comes across as a concern, but it's not really a concern, because if you would be an equal concern for everyone, you'd be concerned about the Arab when they do it. You'll be concerned about the South Asian when they do it. You'll be concerned about everybody when they do it. You're only concerned when a Black person, another way is weaponized, when a Black person speaks from their own experience.
Yeah.
When a Black person speaks to their experience.
Yeah.
Then this weapon is drawn out to shut down the conversation.
And when Black folks start talking about the Black experience, what do they always tell us?
Well, that's I can always tell when somebody's been listening to Daniel Hakikachu. Always, because they start saying some of the goofiest things you ever heard in your life. Yeah. So when Black people start speaking to my encounters, when you start speaking to the Black experience, or applying Islam to the Black experience, or even trying to equate or relate it to other experiences, is that brother, you don't want to fall into tribalism, brother. You do know Farrakhan is a deviant, brother. You're not promoting BLM, are you? Or CRT?
Yes, that's the new one. That's the new one now. That's the new one. And this is a new one that they try to sound smart with, right? Because suddenly the Black experience started about 3 or 4 years ago with the popularity of Stand to the Beginning by Ibram X Kendi. You get me? Or the rise of Black Lives Matter. And all of a sudden, CRT is a problem in the Muslim community, right? We not doing none to these folks. We just trying to take care of ourselves. And they always telling us what? They always tell us this thing. We talk, the one thing they always say all the time. We start talking about racism, what did they start saying?
No racism in Islam.
That's exactly what they say. There's no racism in Islam.
Yeah, there is no racism in Islam. It's just racism in you.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about Islam. We talking about you.
But what we should say as Black Muslims, when they start talking that craziness, when they start talking reckless with us and start mentioning how there's no racism in Islam, we have to start telling them there's no Islam in the racist.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Islam in the racist. Don't come with me with that. The Prophet ﷺ, if he was alive today, he would be fighting for us, not against us like you are. When Isa alayhi salam, when he come back, who is he going to fight for? The oppressor or the oppressed?
The oppressed.
Yeah.
He's going to spread justice all across the world.
Exactly. So he ain't gonna be looking at you funny.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back and fight your Zaddy.
Exactly, the one you love so much, your Zaddy.
He's gonna come back and fight your Zaddy, and
Yeah,
which is okay, you're crying for the Mahdi to come, but the Mahdi is going to be against the person you love so much.
Yeah, exactly. When we were kids, we used to play patty cake. Y'all playing Zaddy cake when you get over here. Everything with you is Zaddy cake. How can you get it good with white folks? Every single move you make, even if it means, throwing Black folk under the bus, you don't care.
Yeah,
you don't care.
Royal General just made a good point.
Mm-hmm. I definitely believe that BLM, they're hollering racism now over Palestinian situation, so hypocritical.
Yep. Why don't you hold? Why don't you hold your own testicles? Stand up, because you told us stop, brother, stop complaining. Yeah. Oh, brother, stop complaining, brothers, stop begging. Zaddy has other things to do besides listen to your complaints.
Exactly.
You keep that same exact energy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Now you begging Becky for a tweet.
Exactly. Now you see that, man? That was so crazy.
You get all worked up and hot. You getting all worked up and about to rush the podium, demanding this woman send a tweet out for you.
Big swear words, F word, S word, everything in the masjid, mind you, in the masjid. Mm-hmm. And all of that happened. Why? Because the immigrant needs to have Zaddy in the masjid so that they can get, bones and biscuits from the government money. That's it. Yeah. Who told y'all it was a good idea? You made it a good idea.
And I'm wondering how many of these alt-right fellows are getting a paycheck.
Of course they are. You kidding me? Even the APAC, they pay these guys a lot of money, man. If right now, if any one of us wanted to get the bag right now, just as influencers, APAC is dishing out, from what I heard, like $6,000 checks for influencers to take their side. So if you see me switching sides, I got paid.
Feachaz gonna show up.
Bling bling, beta bling bang.
We must not question the ruler. Do not say anything concerning Zionism until the ruler gives you permission.
The permission, yes.
And I mean, there's just so much stupidity and goofiness that goes on online among Muslims.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just that, what I just said, all these arguments and talkings about the ruler. You live in America. You don't have did you realize you didn't have a ruler? Mm-hmm. the ruling family of Saudi or any other ruling family, kudos to them, but I don't live underneath their government. I don't live in their country.
Yeah.
What does that got to do with me?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what you're saying is something that Black Muslims have to recognize. How are you fighting for? To me, it's beyond anything that resembles intelligence. You out there fighting for some ruler somewhere that don't know nothing about you, right? When we got our own problems right here. Like, don't get involved in those fights, bro. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's not. It don't involve you. Don't concern you. Right? You got your own issues right here.
I was watching Shadid actually spoke. Shadid says something that he was invited to a panel discussion on Gaza, and he
Mhm.
declined it.
Mhm.
He said, "Get somebody else. This isn't my. That's not my lane."
Yeah.
And it's simple enough. That's not my lane. Get somebody else. Why are you
Yeah.
inviting me?
Yeah. And even here on the features, right? That's been pretty much like our position, anyways, right? We talked about how the black grassroots is essentially going neutral. We mentioned strategically for black people why that's not the way to go, right? And on top of that, we have largely stayed away from delving into the Palestine issue because of the way that the Muslims are acting.
Mm.
Because and I said that many times. And if you look on Muslim YouTube, it's you would think that Muslims would start acting right after that, but it's the complete opposite. You know, if you would think that the recklessness would you know go down a bit, but it's just multiplying exponentially, like with Shamsi getting beat down, like with Napoleon defending Shamsi, and like with what's his face, Daniel Hagikuchu,
Mm.
the failed Shia, talking about
I just
the
want to
full.
know if you were a follower of Daniel
Mm,
and you bought into all his rhetoric,
mm,
especially his apologetics for Zaddy
yeah,
and the non-existence of racism. But now you see him, because I saw a video of him. He said something about white racism. Like he was saying something like, "This is white racism concerning the whole Zionist thing," and I'm like, "This guy." Like
yeah,
when did racism come? When did racism exist?
exactly,
when did racism come back into existence?
exactly.
How do
Now
you
you know
guys
what
how do you
racism is.
guys how do you guys defend that? You follow this guy and you were parroting all his right wing rhetoric
Rhetoric.
against black people,
Mm,
but now you flip the script because now you see racism actually exist.
mhm,
So does
mhm.
it exist for black people also?
Yeah, you see what Royal General said, right? That's exactly it, man.
Yeah. So
Royal
racism
General,
exists
see
when
what
it
he
comes
said?
to Zionism. You can see
Exactly,
racism. It exists when it can, but all of a sudden racism doesn't exist when it comes to black people.
exactly, exactly.
White people can hate Palestinians, but somehow they can't hate black people.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Just the caucasity of it. The caucasity of it, man. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, but that's one of my original posts when I first came onto this. See, according to the census, every Arab is white,
Yep, yep. And that
but
is actually in
but
I
you
was
ain't
reading
white
it
white.
today.
But you ain't white white.
I was reading it today actually. It's from Pew Research. Pew Research. They categorize Arabs as
Yes.
white Muslims.
Yeah, according
Pew
yeah,
Research.
yeah, you're white.
Mhm.
According to Pew reports, the majority of Muslims are white.
Right, right.
Yes,
And how
but
did they do that? Because they're Arabs.
yeah, but the problem is like one of those mass shooters.
Mhm,
I think it was Christchurch one.
mhm,
He put in his little book that he wrote, explain what he was doing and why he was doing it. He basically said that as part of the white supremacist movement, does not recognize Islam as a legitimate European religion.
mhm.
No true European man, no true white man can be a Muslim. So that's
Yeah.
where you get your catch-22 right now.
Mhm,
So yeah, you guys are, um, according to census, statistics, you're white, but you're Muslim, which means you can't be white. So you're not you're a second tier white. You're slightly below white.
mhm. So
Yeah,
Somali against Pan Africanism, he has a amazing comment there. Right. You got Africans who are
yes,
crying for Palestine, but none for us.
yes.
You know what I mean? That's the facts. That's the facts, man.
You got Africans not cried. When's the last time you heard about Sudan?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Sudan is about to be like a genocide.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's about to
Yes.
be a genocide. You know what I mean? So ain't nobody saying about that. No, ain't nobody talking about Congo. Ain't nobody talking about what's going on in you know, Libya,
Mhm.
right? Which should be front and center for all Muslims, right? But it is what it is, bro. So, anyways, I'll let you get the last comments in, and we'll call it a night.
Yeah, I mean, I said I got off what I needed to get off. It's just like you said, Black Muslims need to recognize that you are not a minority.
Yes,
I find that a lot of Black Muslims think they are a minority, and you are. Look up the statistics for yourself. You are not a minority.
you're not a minority. No, no. And as a matter of fact, the only thing that makes you a minority is the way that you operate, the way you move. That's it.
Truth.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's it. So because you think like a minority, you act like a minority, that's what makes you a minority. That's it. You get me? So we are making moves though. Like things like this channel, now your channel coming up, other brothers' channels coming up. Like this is something that's picking up now. We find more and more of these type of channels, particularly catering to Black Muslims, right? And eventually it's going to put the people in position to actually make those networks, those meaningful networks, and to be on code and to act with decorum with each other and manage with each other and have some respect and forgiveness for each other. And when that happens, you know, especially as Muslims with Allah on our side, watch out, man. Watch out. But go ahead, bro. Last words.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say is that cut out the whole minority complex. Cut out the I'm a guest in the house complex. It's your house too. It's just as much as your house as it is anyone as an Arab or a South Asian.
Yeah. South
Allah's
Asia.
house is our house also. He's our God.
Exactly.
This is our
Exactly.
religion.
Exactly, man. You know, we have our own issues to deal with. Allah said in the Quran, save yourselves and your families from the hellfire. Right? He didn't say to save somebody else's family and themselves from the hellfire. Right? We got to work with ourselves, man.
And yeah, that also too, we need to make it clear to our community that what Islam is, and that Islam has nothing to do with whatever goofiness is going on with them folks.
Yeah, with them folks. Let them do their thing. Let them, build up their platforms, and we can while they're distracted doing that nonsense, we got work to do, right? So, but Jazakallah khair, brother CL. I'd like to thank everybody who came on today. I want to thank everybody who liked, subscribed, and shared. And I'm coming on tomorrow. Yeah, from Monday. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Subhanaka wa bihamdik wa shada la ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.